Welcome to Business Brief for today. It's August the 3rd, 2026. That's in July. Happy new month to you. It's a brand new month, and I hope my businessmen and women were keeping tabs of how the income and the expenditure and the expenses and all is happening in the business now. I hope the notes are up to date. If you haven't done that, you still have this week to do all of the July notes. But let's talk business this morning. Nigeria's food inflation now has climbed to 17.52% in June of 2026, marking the fifth consecutive monthly increase, with market data indicating that cooking oil recorded one of the sharpest price increases, contributing significantly to the sustained rise in food costs. Now, the commodity, which is a key ingredient in everyday cooking and food production, has become more expensive as operators face rising input costs and supply challenges. The increase in edible oil prices reflects wider pressures within Nigeria's food supply chain, including higher production expenses, transportation costs, exchange rates and challenges, and difficulties assessing affordable raw materials. For food manufacturers now, restaurant owners, small-scale vendors, the rising cost of cooking oil adds to already high operational expenses. How do you even keep up? Now, the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, had earlier put out food inflation at 17.52% for June, up 0.56 percentage point from May. Reports indicate that food inflation has risen for 5 straight months, 5 straight reporting period, even though the pace of increase had slowed down. It linked the persistence to sustained price increases in items such as pepper, tomatoes, and onions. Now, what does this mean for the ordinary Nigerian? Now, the ordinary Nigerians, the effect is felt both at home and outside it. Families are spending more to prepare meals, while customers at restaurants and food vendors may have to pay more for everyday dishes. Now, as the cost of feeding continues to rise, businesses and consumers are being forced to make difficult choices, highlighting the wider impact of food inflation on daily life and the economy. We'll leave it right there to OPEC, as the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, OPEC Plus, has approved a 188,000 barrels per day, that's a 188 BPD increase in oil production quotas for September, marking the 4th consecutive monthly output hike as the producer group continues unwinding supply cuts introduced in 2023. The decision was announced following a virtual meeting involving 7 key members led by Saudi Arabia and Russia. The latest adjustment mirrors the increases previously approved for June, July, and August, making September the 4th consecutive monthly production increase of the same volume. Analysts say the additional supply could influence global oil prices by easing concerns over tightness in the market, but the impact will depend on how quickly the extra barrels enter circulation and whether demand growth could absorb the increase. For Nigeria, now Africa's largest oil producer, the development carries important implications for crude earnings and government revenue. The move is expected to boost crude oil availability and could influence global oil prices in the coming weeks. The increase comes as attention remains on production levels, export earnings, and development in the international energy market. While increased supply could support production opportunities, a sustained drop in global prices could put pressure on export income and fiscal projections. Now, for the market watchers now, they'll continue to look ahead to whether OPEC Plus continues raising output or pauses adjustment in response to changing market condition. And to wrap up Business Brief quickly, look at the Nigerian stock markets, which maintained its bullish momentum in the final trading week of July, which ended July 31st, with renewed investor demand driving gains across several sectors and reinforcing the Nigerian exchange strong performance in 2026. Trading for the week ended July 31st closed in positive territory as sustained buying interest lifted key stocks, extending the market rally despite continued profit-taking in selected counters. Market analysts say investors remain focused on fundamentally strong companies and position their portfolios ahead of more half-year corporate earnings releases, with expectations of solid financial performance supporting market sentiment. Leading the gainers, was international breweries. Of course, those were the leaders of the week. And we also have livestock feed, RT Briscoe as well. And of course, for every gainers would have losers. I mean, despite the strong market performance, some stocks also came under selling pressure as investors locked in profit. We have the likes of Thomas Yacht, Nigeria PLC. We have the likes of EcoBank, Transactional Incorporated, and others who made some losses as well. But then, as trading enters a new week, investors will be watching for more corporate earnings releases and broader economic signals, with analysts saying company results and market sentiment will be key to determining whether the Nigerian exchange can sustain its upward momentum in the weeks ahead.